Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are all well. As you can see, the GNA team are back, and we're here to talk about. Well, you know what we're going to talk about, but before we get to that, let's cue that intro.
Don't know how I'm here, and it's you that I want to need. You feel your heartbeat. You feel somewhere you're looking now. You feel your heartbeat. You feel somewhere you're looking now.
Yes, people. Welcome back. I know I just said it just now, but welcome back again. I hope you have had an absolutely great Monday. Is it Monday? Yeah. Is it Monday? I'm getting lost here. Monday, yeah? Hope you're having a great Monday. As you can see, the GNA originals are here today. We're all here. We're all here to delve into the crap news, should we say? The news that's devastated many football fans across the world. I wouldn't even just say in the UK, but across the world, especially if your club is involved in this. But before we get to that, please make sure you smash that like button, please. Subscribe if you're new at GNA TV as well. Sophia, how are you doing? It's been a while since we've seen you.
I know, feels really different, and we're all here on bad terms, which is a shame, but
I know.
I'm as good as I can get.
Could have been like a Chelsea winning the Champions League or something, isn't it? A little gathering or something, but you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's got to be spoken about. It's definitely the talk of the town at the moment. Lambs, how are you? You look a bit pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands, we're out of the Champions League, aren't we? So, hey ho, it seems like all that excitement, all of us getting to FA Cup semi-final, you know, what is this game against Brighton? What, is it a friendly now? I don't know.
Wait, honestly, that's a good way of thinking about it, but we'll definitely delve into that. A man like Ads is here as well. How you doing, my boy? You all right?
No comment.
Should we just get into it? Look, before we get into it, let's quickly just fly through some of these comments. Gio, big up to you, my man. I hope you're well. Max says it's straight there. It's a disgrace, is what he's saying, straight up. Josh is in town. Yeah. I feel quite low right now.
You feel like trolling says it all. Says it all.
I'm having a fantastic Monday with this nonsense going on right now. Disgraceful, says Chris. Mustafa's in the house as always. I'm no longer a United fan, is what he's saying. I've heard a lot. Look, I'm not going to lie. I've heard a lot of fans, not just Chelsea, Man United, anyone that's involved in this European Super League, actually say that they're not going to support their club if this happens. Like they've given up because the whole fact of it, you know, in the long run becoming more like a franchise, it's just more money driven, you know, and it's sad. We're going to delve into it. We're going to start with Sophia. Sophia, I just want your thoughts on it overall. Obviously, we heard the news. Well, Chelsea announced it as a club statement last night, I think it was roughly, as to say that they were a part of it. Obviously, there's the Chelsea side. I know you're very close to the Dortmund side of things as well, who, from what I understand, have pulled away from it and have completely gone against it. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
It's all about money and greed, and I just don't understand. You know what I mean? We've stuck by our clubs through COVID, the pandemic, everything, and it's just come out of nowhere. I was just really like shocked, actually. Like, I was reading it like late last night, and I was like, I'm gonna wake up and this is gonna be a dream. And it's not a dream. Like, I don't even know where this came from, but just kind of looking at the people involved, like, I mean, Florentino Perez, like, come on, he's like the biggest like money grabbing, sketchy, corrupt like bastard, in like European football as it is. Yeah. So I was really not surprised, like, seeing his name.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. People, just a quick one as well. I will be sharing something we use a bit later on, so please stay tuned. We're going to go through the pros and the cons. I mean, the supposed pros of this Super League. Yeah, we'll be doing that a bit later on at some point. I mean, Sophia, for you, obviously, it's angered many, but from a Dortmund point of view, how impressed and how happy are you that they haven't sort of gone down this route?
I'm just glad that, I mean, they've always been a club to stick by their morals, and like, you know, they're mostly, I think, like half or more than half like fan owned. So for me, I'm just really glad that, and I'm really surprised that like some of the like no Bundesliga clubs, like, well, say Bayern Munich, they're 1 minute they're like yeah, 1 minute they're no. especially Leipzig as well. I was surprised at that. But like I said, it's because in Germany they understand that football would be nothing without the fans.
Mm,
And the fans like basically create the atmosphere, the income,
mm.
everything. So I don't know. I mean, I I don't know. I wouldn't say I would stop watching Chelsea, but you'd have to boycott them in a way it would hurt them, like with sales and like don't spend your money sort of on them kind of thing. I know that's controversial, like you said, like the amount of people I've seen today saying I'm not watching Chelsea, stopping everything, like sort of thing, which I can understand. Like there
And,
needs to be a way to
yeah,
boycott it.
no, and you're right. The only way you can actually counter against this is if we all come together as fans. I know just as fans, we're all feeling the same pain. So whoever's club is involved in this bullshit, I want to call it bullshit. Yeah, we need to pull together. If it means going to protest, I read something this morning about there might be from the Chelsea side of things that they're looking to organise a protest down at Stamford Bridge outside the stadium straight after the Brighton game on Tuesday, which is something that may happen. You may see it happen more across not only in the UK but in other countries as well. It's appalling, and it's really put a dent. It's really put a dent in football as of what it is, if that makes sense as well. The meaning of football, what we love, the passion, like everything for me, it just points out money, just money driven. You look at the people involved in it as well, and we're forever moaning about their personas the way they are. I mean, Roman Abramovich aside, because Roman Abramovich, for me, we've been quite lucky in other things to have such a great chairman. But even from his perspective in this situation, I don't buy into the whole what he said about he just followed the Glazers, and I think it was FSG that were sort of fulfilling it through as well. There's just to say, we just got kind of bullied into going along with it, because we're the guys with the money. But I don't agree with that. At the end of the day, there should be a lot more backbone behind the choices, and that's why if you look at the likes of Dortmund, even PSG have probably got the most money, if anything, in the world out of all of us. Are up there with in terms of finances, and even their owners turned around and said, "No, we're not. They could clearly see that it was ruining the game." And Ben said here, "RIP to the beautiful game." I couldn't agree with him more. So, and even if it does go into fruition, it's going to be a horrible time in terms of football, especially. But Lambs, tell me how you feeling.
I mean, yeah, I kind of hoped it wasn't real. It wouldn't kind of like be true. I remember we got a message in the group chat about the Midnight Vibe show, and I thought, it was going to be a good one. All of us were going to come on together and talk about us getting to a final, and the whole idea of the original structure of the show was just overtaken with this breaking news that was kind of like going on. So essentially, that's kind of what the show ended up being about. And since then, I've barely kind of like got any sleep because the news has just been trickling in ever since, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And I honestly, like, my mind is actually blown because I actually can't quite believe it. Like, it hasn't really sunk in because there's just so much going on. I mean, first of all, rest in peace to the beautiful game. What Ben said, like, that pretty much sums it up, because the way this is going to ruin football. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're already sitting here having debates. Like, United fans, Arsenal fans have been debating and like trying to get their ball out for years and years and years because they've seen the slow decline and capitulation of their club. Like, these are owners like FSG, like the Cronkies, the Glazers, who kind of come together, who've collectively not really been willing to invest that much in their clubs to kind of keep themselves at that so-called elite level, that now, here's a big money-making scheme. We know how, stuff is done in America, how sports broadcasting is kind of done in America, or, during this pandemic, or digital streaming platforms and all of that. Like, they've come up with an idea, a proposition to make them more money so they don't have to invest in the club. And they can coerce these other clubs, Chelsea, Manchester Cities, who without this previous structure, we wouldn't be anything. Like, who were we 20 odd years ago? Who is Manchester City 15 odd years ago? Do you know what I mean? So it's just it's actually just mind blowing. It's mind blowing how they've actually come up with an idea. Hey, guys, I know you guys are already rich. You're already in a great position. You don't really need this, but hey, how would you like to make more money?
Mustafa, sorry, that this just completely sidetracked me. What are you talking about, Mustafa? You've seen my hair how many times? You're here every living time. Why would you want to go? That actually cheered me up a bit. That was a good comment, mate.
It's just,
Yeah, I did
we
get a haircut today, mate, so it probably does look fresh right now. But
I
yeah,
guess,
thanks for
I
cheering us
guess,
up.
guess that's just it's just
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like teams like you said, Gems, Spurs, Arsenal. Like, how dare you? You have no goddamn
What are they
right.
doing there? What
You
are they
have like
doing in there?
your owners and your clubs, yeah, because they've refused to invest, they've refused to try and get there and compete to do what it takes to maintain that level, to improve on that level. Their standards have dropped. Meanwhile, other teams have been willing to put in the graft over the years, invest wisely, run the club, the structure, improve on that, and try to get up there to compete with these teams. Your Leicesters, your Evertons, um even Everton, Leicester, Everton, even West Ham as well. West Ham were about to be relegated at the end of last season, and now look at them; they're competing for Champions League spaces. Do you know what I mean? Like it defeats the purpose. Like, who do you think you are that you earn this? You earn the right to be in this league, this elite Super League, and living off accolades from 15 odd years ago. It's disgraceful. Disgusting. Like, who do you think you are? Completely disregarding the teams who've put in the graft, the hard work, the effort to try and get themselves up to
Yeah,
this. Leicester, that started off as a championship team, came up to the Premier League, won the Premier League. Like, that was a crazy moment. That was a magical moment in football for everybody to witness. We're never gonna get that again.
but yet they're not even involved, and this is what doesn't make sense to me. People like Arsenal and Spurs are involved in this,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
teams,
Spurs literally, they saw this coming. They were thinking, okay, let's just okay. We were hearing about putting pressure on teams for a few years, but never really achieving anything. Let's just buy a big flashy stadium, and they're lucky that they have the likes of somebody like Harry Kane as a player to add to their rank, so they've got that going for them as well. So it's more about the revenue that they generate in terms of like shirts and stuff like that. Bought this big flashy stadium. Now here they are thinking, okay, we're part of this Super League. We've got this money coming in. That stadium's going to pay for itself now. That's fine. Probably why they could afford to sack Jose Mourinho. So they got that. They have this massive payout coming. They know they have this massive payout. With all of this money coming in, they're just going to start picking off all of, your Leicester, your West Ham, your up and coming teams. They're going to start picking off their best players. Your Pedro Neto's, he's gone to the Super League. Jack Grealish, Super League. Harry Kane's already in Tottenham, but you kind of see what I mean. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, like. This is where it's going, and all of these, like, the work and effort that all of these teams have been putting in to try and get there and compete to earn that right, that status of qualifying for Champions League football. It just
look, I agree with everything you said. I think what gets me the most with it all is that the Super League. What we're going to delve into it in a bit. I wanted to get your views on it quickly, and I'm going to bring up this link that I've got, which I'm going to share with you guys, and we're going to delve into it more because I want to talk about certain topics. But before I go into it, because I'm going to end up talking forever, I know what I'm like on this situation. So, Ads, tell me what's your thoughts on it, bro?
Well, I thought it was fake. To be honest with you, man. I didn't sleep at all last night. I really didn't actually. I haven't had any sleep for a while now. Because listen, yesterday was just surreal as hell, man. I've had a line of surreal days in my life recently. So, man, it was weird yesterday, man, hearing that news. But me personally, I think people making excuses for Chelsea and Man City, they need to just stop that shit because everyone's just as bad as each other. Everyone's just as bad as each other. But for me, Abramovich he's done so much for Chelsea, but at the same time, so have many other clubs who have put themselves in this the shit show of a fucking league. I mean, it's basically just a money bag for people like fucking Stan Kroenke to just grab hold of. Listen, Stan Kroenke, imagine being listen, I'm gonna tell you something about this guy. How can you be proud to be famous for being the biggest prick in the universe, hopping shit players, and then apparently I'm hearing something about a process only a few months ago, and apparently now there's no process. But as soon as that Super League thing's announced, and Arsenal are apparently confirmed to be in it, apparently it's a way forward. You know, I'm just hearing this, and for me, that just proves my point. Low standards FC is Arsenal and Spurs. Low
Yeah,
standards FC, and they think this is the chance for them to get the way back. Spurs,
yeah.
there's no way back. They were never at the top, and they never will be because they're shit. For Arsenal, for that to be the way that they find comfortability with how bad they are is a disgrace, if you ask me personally. And the
I
fact they have
just wanted,
people like Flunky
yeah.
in their board. Yeah, go on, mate, go on.
I just want to quickly jump on saying because as we speak, things are going mad at the moment. You've got UEFA trying to make decisions on the UEFA Champions League and Europa League, whether they want certain individual clubs that
Yeah,
have applied
yeah.
for this league to be involved in the semis and the finals moving forward. And Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted on his Twitter just now saying UEFA's decision about UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League semi-finals will be made in the next days after meeting with legal teams. So they've already reacted to the news to try and, really in many ways force people into a corner, especially the teams that have gone that way. It says they'll decide whether to exclude City, Chelsea, Real, Man United, and Arsenal. Um, Seferin wants to ban them as soon as possible. It's not decided. Depends by the league. So basically, it's not been confirmed, but it depends on what the legal team can get away with and if they can get away with doing it. This is how serious the UEFA are looking at this right now at the moment. The fact that they're looking to exclude City, Chelsea, Real, Man United, and Arsenal.
I
You
was
know,
so
then
looking forward to Chelsea versus Real Madrid.
this is breaking. This is what do you know? This is what's breaking my heart even more. And Lambs, I don't know if you just heard what I just announced here
Yeah,
about
I
Fabrizio Romano. Did you
yeah,
hear it? Yeah.
yeah.
So that in itself has broke me. That the fact that we could actually be excluded when we were at a semi-finals of the Champions League because our stupid club has decided to make a decision. And why did they make the decision now? That's another thing that doesn't make any sense to this, right? You're nearly done. You've nearly finished a new season, right? You're at the what they call is the clutch end of the final, semi-finals if you're still in them, like Chelsea are, for example. Why would you go and make a stupid decision that will now affect your football club against other leagues now,
It's
especially
been making the
UEFA and
planning.
FA? Why would you do that? Why would you
Been making the
jeopardize that when
planning.
we've worked so hard to get there? What do you think the players are going to do? How are the players going to look at this now? Because they're going to sit there and go, fucking hell, what was the point of playing and getting to a semi-final to now be excluded because our stupid football clubs decided to contribute to a league, do you know what I mean? Which doesn't benefit anyone at the moment. And
Can I say,
that's the poor thing about it. Go on, Ads.
can I say
Yeah.
something quickly? Right.
Mm.
Because for me personally, right, Manchester United, yeah, whether people like it or not in the chat, I think we were going to win Europa League. I think we were favourites for a reason because I actually generally believe we were going to win it. And I spoke to you at the start of the season, G, about how I felt we could win it if we did get knocked out of the Champions League, which did actually happen.
Mm.
But for me, if they are going to take us out of it, that's fair enough because that's what we deserve. I don't think Ollie or the players do though, personally, or the background coaches like Michael Carrick. I don't think they deserve it. But for me personally, if we're being put into this Super League or we're going to do EPL Super League, a bit of this and that, I'll say this
Yeah.
one thing. I'll break it down into three columns. One, if we do both, the Super League will be more important and it will be the thing that we stay more committed to. That goes for every club in there. Two, I think Ollie's chances of being Manchester United manager in the long term has pretty much been jeopardised if we are out of it because I think this was Ollie's clearest opportunity to actually win a trophy,
Yeah.
and all the build up is just gone. Same with Tuchel, but with
Yeah.
Tuchel, most of your Chelsea fan base has put the trust in him. And number three, I see no future for certain players in both Chelsea and Manchester United or any of the clubs, especially the more underrated ones, more underappreciated ones, and the ones who've actually helped their teams out a lot this season. And for me personally, it's just like Ben Russell said, man, it's not going to be the same either way if they add that shit show into the
It
footballing world.
won't. It won't. It won't. And I agree 100%. What we're going to do is, people, before we move forward, please smash that like button. Let's get to 30 likes as quickly as possible. Yeah, guys, let's try and do that. And please subscribe if you're new here as well. Let me go through some of these comments before I bring up this. This what I'm going to share with you guys. I'm disgusted with United. The UCL means absolutely everything to this club, and they're ready to ditch for more money. Bunch of bellends is what Joe says on that one. So you can feel the anger. Do you know what I mean? Big up to Real Chris who's in the chat as well. Imagine the Premier League without Man United and Liverpool. Yeah, exactly. Stupid. What a stupid idea. But anyway, let's move on. I want to share this screen quickly. Let's do that. Right. Can you see this? Do I need to zoom in a bit? Is that better?
Yeah,
Zoom
that's
in. Yeah, that's cool.
Let's go too close. Is that better? Is that further?
all right.
Sophia,
Yeah,
can you
that's
see
cool.
it? You're on your phone, yeah? Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
All right, cool. So what we're going to start with is we're going to talk about not the cons, we're going to talk about the pros. This is supposedly the pros of having the Super League set up. The first one was the top clubs are playing each other each and every week. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't got to explain this and read this bit out, but let's be serious. The only exciting thing of this is that you get to watch Chelsea probably play twice, a Real Madrid, a Man City, which we do anyway. But any team outside of the UK, you get to see them play twice. Against each other. And yes, all right, it might be competitive and that's cool, but it just doesn't make it in the long-term longevity of things. For me, it doesn't make any sense because you're going to get this little, people are not even buzzing about it anyway, but in the long run, people are just not going to be interested in it. And there's no real structure to it, which we're going to get to on one of the
No,
bullet points a bit further below. But
novelty's going to wear off, isn't it?
exactly, the novelty's going to wear off. Exactly what Lam said. The novelty's going to wear off, and yeah, it's cool to watch it. It's a bit like when you go on FIFA ads and you create a tournament and you put all of the best teams in the tournament. Yeah, that's what they've done here right now. They've just done a FIFA. They've decided to put all of the best teams in the league and just let them play against each other. And it's wrong and it's sad and it just doesn't make any sense in my eyes, and it will affect so many of the other teams in the domestic leagues, Premier Leagues, Bundesliga. It won't with the French league because PSG ain't getting involved, but the Italian leagues as well. So it's going to be a big hit. The second one was money for the clubs. The biggest one, obviously, the fact that they can take advantage. It says an advantage only for the clubs involved is the huge amount of money they will be receiving. Obviously, we know that in exchange for their commitment, the founding clubs, the people that have backed it, will receive an amount of 3.5 billion. 3.5 billion. No wonder Spurs are in there. No wonder Arsenal are in here. No wonder Liverpool are in here. And no wonder why Man United are in there. I can't really even say no wonder Roman Abramovich is in there because I don't really think that was no one's really looked at him as that being his motive at Chelsea because he's always spent money at our football club. But the fact that they can solely pick up 3.5 billion from the investment plans, the infrastructure, as it says there, is disgusting. TV deals with clubs will be as high earnings as ever, and the demands for tickets will see average stadium attendance over the 100,000 mark.
Demands for tickets? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there you go.
That means ticket prices. That obviously means ticket prices are gonna rise even more than they already have in the past.
I can't even afford a Chelsea season ticket.
Same.
Yeah,
and
that's expensive. That's expensive, isn't it? When you think about it, the Chelsea season ticket at the moment is ridiculous. Even just buying a ticket, Sophia, try and get a ticket to the Chelsea game. It's impossible, isn't it? It's literally so hard.
I can easily get a ticket to a Dortmund game. That's the thing I've never understood about Premier League. I can just go on Ticketmaster and buy. I've done it before. I just bought a ticket to. It was Borussia Dortmund against Bayern Munich, and I just easily brought 2 tickets.
We're customers now. We're not fans anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's
rich
true.
Prawn sandwich munchers, as my mum calls it.
That's a good.
The people that can afford it, and it really pisses me off.
It's a good saying. Just going to read this out very quickly. If UEFA ban all ESL players from competing in the World Cup /Euros, then all the world class players will just leave for Bayern, PSG, the quality of football at our club will be in the mud. And that's very true. The competition levels drop. Why? Because they've all decided to fuck off into one league and left the leagues behind to compete with, just average teams. Do you know what I mean? It becomes like the French league then becomes like the English league. It becomes
Yeah,
easy to win. It becomes quite predictable. So if you're like I don't know, I think all of our top six have actually are involved in this Super League, aren't they? If I'm right, it's not one that isn't, is there? So in that sense, it leaves it open for Everton's and the West Hams and
Can I
whoever
say
else. It
something?
leaves it a bit more excited.
Leicester.
Go on, Eds.
Can I
Yeah,
just say something though? For me personally, right, the reason why I love the Europa League and the Champions League so much, well, for me personally, the reason why I like the Europa League is obviously there are still going to be top teams in there near the end of the tournament. So whether or not the majority of them are good or not, there's still at least 4 to 6 good teams in there, including Manchester United most of the time. They're too shit. And then
yeah,
obviously the Champions League, you have good teams, and it's that one-off occasion where you get to see your team face someone that you wouldn't actually continuously go to face. And for me, that just ruins the vibe of it. And, you know, for me personally, if I was in charge of all of this crap,
yeah,
I would put Spurs and Arsenal back where they belong with all the average teams, and they still wouldn't
yeah.
win anything. So, because they don't stand a chance. They're not top teams.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, money for clubs. I mean, the two obvious ones are the pros, and if you look at the pros, there's literally only 3 bullet points. Wait till we get to the cons. um, the breakaway clubs might still compete in the home competitions. The Super League announcement included the information that clubs involved will continue to play their domestic competitions. Now we know that's not true because you already can see, especially the Premier League in terms of the way they've reacted to it. And I don't know. Because I don't think the Bundesliga has been affected by it because no one's involved in it. It's only us and the Spanish league that have really, really been affected with it. So I don't agree on that. This is good news for football, but will the leagues and UEFA allow it? The answer is no. UEFA have already announced that they've got their legal representatives involved to stop Chelsea and anyone that's got involved in the Super League from even progressing further than the semi-finals. They want us all excluded. That's how serious they're taking this.
Well,
Highly unlikely with the recent statements published by the FA and UEFA, but all we can do is wait for the scenario to unfold, and it's already unfolding very rapidly, isn't it, Lambs? In many ways,
yeah.
it's
I mean, literally, this is exactly what I was saying. Like, obviously, this is great news for football. Obviously, they're not going to allow it. It's even going so far as to say that some of the players can't even compete for their countries. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, so far, most of the players have been very, very quiet about this, but obviously it's probably to do with, contractual obligations and
mm,
whatnot, because of everything going on. Can't really speak about it, but what must you be thinking? Like, this is such a crazy decision to make. Like, okay, here's a whole bunch of money that we're offering you, but the standard and quality may drop and dip. You
yeah.
may lose, a large chunk of your fan base. There'll still be other fans to replace them with, but they're really going to understand the game for what it is.
Well,
They understand the history on which the club is built upon. And
it's sad. It's sad. Don't get me wrong. It is sad. It's not a good time. But Sophia, just quickly, German teams are 50% run by their fans. Is that true?
It
The
is,
German?
yeah. It's kind
Yeah.
of like some legal sort of obligation that all the Bundesliga teams sort of have, kind of like shareholders in a way, which is, like I said,
Did
why
you?
like every football team and game in Germany is
Mm.
like so much more better.
Do you think that's part of the reason why there isn't so much involvement with the whole Super Cup thing, especially from the German teams? Do you think that there's a lot more to it? If the fans are more involved, then obviously the fans are not going to allow it, are they? So do you think that's more to the reason
I
than
think
anything?
definitely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I
Yeah,
think like Dortmund had banners in their last game saying like stop like UCL like reforms and
yeah.
everything like that. So I think, yeah, I think if they actually were allowed to go against kind of the fans like wishes, it would
It'd just be
probably
an
cause a
uproar.
major uproar. Yeah.
Yeah,
now,
100%.
I know I'm hearing that there's loads of Leeds fans protesting outside Ellen Road ahead of tonight's game.
Good. Well
I'm
done.
all for like the
Uh,
protest tomorrow outside Stamford Bridge.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I live in London, so I really should go. I probably will go, to be
I know,
fair.
I was debating going as well, but I don't know.
Shall we all go? I mean, one of the things we're actually going to do is we need to meet up anyway, but I don't want us to all go and meet up at a protest. That's not the best way to start it, is it? Do you
It
know what I
would
mean? A
be
GNA community
for a
meeting up
good
at a
cause.
protest.
It would be for a good cause,
Do you
though.
know what? Do you know what we will do though? When we will have to go to the stadium one day and actually do a stream. I'm actually thinking about
I
that.
ain't coming
Yeah,
to your
Lambs,
stand,
if you
bro.
go tomorrow, you need to like live stream it. That would be
It's a live
amazing.
stream.
100%.
I
I'll
ain't
do.
coming to your stands.
I mean,
I ain't coming to your
Instagram is
stands,
what I
bro.
use anyway, so I'll just probably put it on live anyway.
Sophia, you still good, or have you got to go? I don't know. I don't
I
want to
probably
just.
will have to make a move, yes.
Okay, that's fine. Sophia, nice having you on. It's nice to actually have
Thank
the
you.
four of us on here for once. Let's hope we can moving forward do that more so as well. But enjoy your night, and we'll see you.
Thank
You might
you.
be on with the ladies. You on with the ladies on Friday or not? You're not
Yeah,
sure.
or if you're doing like a stream tomorrow or
Yeah,
whenever
we will
this
be.
like shit show comes to an end and there's like a solution, then yeah.
Actually,
We will be definitely keeping it updated on here. That's 100%. But thank you anyway. Thanks for coming on. We
Thanks,
appreciate it as
guys.
always.
See you
See you in a bit.
soon.
Bye bye bye. Um, we're on the cons, people. Please smash the like button. There's nearly 23 of you here right now, so please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you're new here, and please share on all your socials as well. Let's try and get try and get this up to at least 30 to 40 likes, please, people. We're on to the cons. I mean, looking at the pros, there wasn't really pros, was there? It was the two obvious ones, and one that's already been clarified that they're not really going to be backing it. So, the con: the history of football will be changed forever. Um, I don't really need to go into this too much, but basically, it's talking about football as you know it, the passion, the upsets, the underdogs creating history. A bit what Lambs just said earlier at the beginning of the stream. None of this will take place in the Super League. The league competition domestically across Europe will lose all its foundations, and this may end up with a lot of clubs at the bottom of the football pyramid going out of business. Might as well rip up the record books and start again. I mean, Lambs, it's just everything you just said earlier, wasn't it? Really, to be fair, the passion goes, and not just that. The smaller teams are going to be massively affected to it. Why? Because if you remove all of the teams that generate most of the money in these leagues, then it becomes a bit of a shit show, doesn't it? In many ways.
100%. I mean, why do we really enjoy watching the Premier League? Why is the Premier League rated as one of the most entertaining leagues in the whole wide world? Because you can have a team that's about to win the Premier League lose to a team that's about to get relegated. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
literally why we watch it. You know, there's teams that we're facing that we expect us to win. You know, being the team, you know, supporting the teams that we support, but you know, it's not always a guarantee. You know, sometimes we might go in and there'll be these shock results, and there's been a lot of them in recent times, and that's what's been exciting because this Premier League is now becoming more and more competitive. These so-called elite teams no longer really have that elite status anymore. They're not how they used to be, and
Yeah.
shows that you need to work hard, you need to invest, you need to be smart if you want to maintain those competitive levels, if you want to compete for certain things, if you have certain goals and certain visions. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the point in making the top four in the first place now? Because you know what? Because it defeats the whole purpose. Why are you making the top four to qualify for the Champions League? Right, the
Yeah.
Champions League doesn't fucking matter anymore. So.
Yeah, I agree. Connor's joined us. Connor's wanted to come in quickly and have his say. Connor, how are you feeling about the bullshit, the shit show that we've heard? Since yesterday, mate. What's your thoughts on it overall?
It's pretty bad, man. It's like American sport construct that they do over here, and like people get tired of the NBA and they get tired of football because it's like the same teams competing, like the same four, like coaches. Yeah, you guys need to go check the Jurgen Klopp video that just came out by Sky Sports. He said that him and his players, like his coaching staff and his players, weren't consulted. That it was brand new news to them. But
wow,
like in America, like in the NBA, right? Like you have like a set amount of teams, and nothing ever changes. Nobody gets penalized for coming in last place, and it's even annoying because like teams will just choose to sell their good players for draft picks, and then they'll like bring in young players, and then like they tell you as a fan, like, oh, sorry, for the next 4 years, we're going to be rebuilding and we're going to suck. And there's no like none of those decisions and things like that would happen. But also the construct is different. The construct is like the Super League.
Yeah.
And the reason why I got into to football in the first place is because of the way like England's set up. Even when I've been to England once in my life, like the setup, even all the way down to like the local men's leagues, like every Sunday, like everybody's playing soccer, like every single division all the way down, like has some sort of support system, kind of hierarchied by the higher up, divisions. And I was watching an interview yesterday and it was saying that Everton, their investors were thinking about building a $500 million stadium to
Yeah.
compete for Champions League football. But now if the Super League is a thing and nobody can be relegated or entered and, Champions League might not be a thing anymore, like now you're really putting clubs at stake, like Everton and the smaller clubs. And then what about the area that, that they were going to build that club in? Like this has a real effect on people. And I don't know. I just don't see how this is a good idea at all. There's nothing missing from football other
Yeah.
than more money from the
Yeah, but
owners. Like,
this is the thing, Connor. I was talking about it earlier. The game's driven by money now, and it's been confirmed. The fact that players and like we just said there, Klopp's not been consulted, players weren't consulted, coach weren't. It's like they're making decisions as of when they please. It's more of a business thing rather than what the fans want, what the players want. Because at the end of the day, it's not looked at as a wider perspective of that everyone's involved. You know what I mean? It's like the guys with the money manipulate how they want, when they want. And did you hear the news about Chelsea, Man City, Real Madrid, everyone that's in the Champions League and Europa League? They're now, UEFA have acted this second. This is how quick they've acted to get us all excluded from these competitions because of this. So look at what our clubs just put us in.
So
it's
the another
disgusting.
thing too is like I don't know, yesterday I was watching everything, like reading everything that I could.
Yeah.
But I'm confused on Chelsea and Man City. I don't understand. Like, so there's a podcast that I watched. They broke down every club that's in its financial situation. Like, you look at Barcelona, almost $1 billion of debt. You look at AC Milan, they can't even pay their transfer fees. You look at Juventus, still in debt, thinking about selling Ronaldo. Real Madrid, I mean, they're kind of like a state-backed club, but still in debt. And there are English clubs that are having financial problems too. But Chelsea and Man City, like, we're not in debt. You know what I'm saying? We have, as sad as it is to say, we have a supply of money no matter where it comes from that can keep us up and running. So why did we join? And why weren't other clubs? Like, think about like Tottenham. Like, why are they in the league? Why are Arsenal in the league? Like, do Arsenal fans really want to see Arsenal play top level teams week in and week out? And then here's the thing too, right? Like, here's the reason why I love football in Europe. People as Chelsea fans enjoy playing Real Madrid because it's in a UEFA semifinal. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like a EPL versus La Liga type thing. You know what I mean? It's like the best quality La Liga can produce versus the best quality or one of the best that the English Premier League can produce. If I see Chelsea play against Porto every single week, if I see Chelsea play against Real Madrid every single week, and we do preview shows on what's the biggest trending news with Benzema and Modric, like, it's going to lose its value. You know what I mean? And Liverpool, I don't understand where they're coming from that they want to play more competitive and more higher status teams when they played against Real Madrid and they lost on almost a 4-5-1 aggregate. So it's like, do you want to see that week in and week out? Because if Liverpool are previous champions and they can't even perform to the Super League standard, how are Tottenham and Arsenal? And I think it's a money grab, and I hope it's a bluff. I hope it's a big bluff.
Connor, look, at the end of the day, number one, the whole meaning, I've said this before earlier, the meaning of the Super League doesn't make any sense. There's no structure to it when you actually look at it from top to bottom. The teams that are involved are not top teams. The Super League is meant to be for the top teams. The fact that there's talks about Schalke getting involved in the Super League, which I've just heard recently. What are they doing there? They've been fighting in relegation. Do you know what I mean? Tottenham and Arsenal have been unsuccessful for years. They're not a top team anymore. So why are they involved in the Super League?
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you why they're in there. Because of history, and that's simply it. History and money. The money. How much?
Yeah.
So it's two things. So I no one even needs to do research for this. One, how much the club is worth. Tottenham is worth a lot, even though I don't think they should be. I've seen better things than them. I see than them. And two, because of their history, even though that's the problem. That's the problem. I can tell you right now. There are more teams in the Ukrainian league that have more history than Tottenham and all these other deadbeat teams. For me, the only teams with history in the league properly. All of those in the top 6 minus Tottenham. So why the fuck? The only reason why Tottenham are there is of how much
It's
they're worth.
money.
If they
No,
weren't
it's
worth that
money.
much,
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
listen,
yeah,
if they didn't
yeah.
have all those, you know, those financial aspects that they can produce when they go into that league, because trust me, they're going to be earning and giving money away whilst they're in there, and that's Tottenham for you, because they have to give to receive. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say? They're that type
yeah,
of club.
yeah.
They don't owe,
Yeah.
they don't not worth anything at all.
No, but this is the thing, and people, please smash that like button, please. Let's get to 30 likes. There's nearly 30 of you here right now. Please subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. This is the thing for me. When you look at it, the only teams that are involved are the teams that are financially well off. If you're a Leicester, like we were saying earlier, and you ain't involved in the Super League, you'll be pissed off. Why the fuck are Spurs in there? You've won the Premier League before them. Like, like it don't make. There's no structure towards it. But let's stick to this. Let's stick to the cons anyway that we're on at the moment. Club becomes franchises. That's the next one. The founding clubs of the league will become franchises, and these clubs will lose touch with the most important part. We all know what that is, fans.
Did
For
they
the sake
really
of the
put
club,
this out? Like, look at this wording. Like, what official league statement is this? Or is this from Super League, or is this like an analyst
no,
article?
this is just an analyst on
Oh,
Google.
okay, okay, okay. I was like, this cannot be official.
For the sake of it, but this is a guy there's a lot more cons than pros, Connor. We just went through the
Oh
pros.
yeah.
There's only 3, but there's about 6 here. This guy is a definite, like, he's anti against the Super League, but he's basically just said, for the sake of for the club's brand, clubs relocating becomes a trend. Players will start pocketing $500,000 a week in salaries for fun, and 200 million transfer fees will be more of a regular thing. Than
Jim.
one thing, and a one-time thing. So, and the reason for that is because what we said up here earlier, each team is looking to involve around 3.5 billion in terms of
Where's this money
infrastructure
coming from?
investment
Okay,
from playing
cool.
in this league. This league is set up for money. That's it.
I don't
That's
see where
all.
this money comes from. I really
Well,
don't.
I don't know where it comes from.
From us.
I'm not. I was gonna order my girl a Chelsea shirt. Like, literally, we talked about it yesterday, and I'm not doing it anymore. So,
Divine intervention, Connor. Divine intervention.
have you heard about Chelsea saving football though? Have you? So they were saying that an analyst for Sky Sports wrote an article saying that Chelsea and Man United, and I'm pretty sure you've all heard the skepticism about how we were kind of like grandfathered into it because we didn't want to be left behind by the other leagues. But they said that in the talks that we were the most against it because we don't need the money. And they said that it's unfair because we have oil money, that we should be there together to keep all the clubs on a playing field. Someone was saying that if Roman Abramovich, as much as a money man as he is, if he pulls out of this Super League and Chelsea come back to lead the Premier League in absence of the Super League, the amount of money and revenue that we would soak up from gaining all the fans that would see us as, the real football club that decided to leave this would be huge. And then they said that if Chelsea left, Man City would see the money, opposition there, and then they would leave. And then now it would be a trickle out of all these clubs saying, well, now if, and think about it, like, we don't want to lose our respective positions in UEFA. I mean, I feel bad for, I don't know if you guys watched the presser for Tuchel, man. He worked so hard. I know that these guys have worked so hard to turn it around. And they literally get to a quarterfinal. I mean, my bad, a semifinal and a final. And now his first press conference, he's being asked about Super League. When from Klopp's, Klopp doesn't clear. Klopp is has a lot of pedigree as a coach. Yeah. And he said, I wasn't told about this, and the players weren't told about this. Obviously Tuchel wanting to be on the short contract that he is of 18 months. He wants another one. He's not going to be not as tactful as that, but.
You know what, Connor? That just made me laugh quickly. Imagine Phil Jones getting 500k a week. That's actually really scary, isn't it? That these shit players can actually demand this money because this Super League that we've decided to create and throw all these
players want it.
That have got money can now pick up nearly 3.5 billion in infrastructure money for just being I think they're just back in the league. That's all it is. They're pretty much like a part of the actual association. So that's why they make money from it. It's just, fuck knows, man.
Can I just say something? Is that all right?
No.
Right. I'm going to say this right now, right? If this shit happens, right, either all of the good players will leave, like the world-class ones in our teams, or people like Martial and all these other short-term players who are near the age of 23, 24,
Mm.
25, fam, they're all gonna go. So trust. Goodbye to Tellez. Goodbye to Martial. Goodbye to all of these men. And trust me, do you really, really think? And you know what? This makes you think as well. There's one player who I'm really, really concerned about right now. Paul Pogba. Where does he stand with all of this? Where does he
Yeah.
stand with all of this?
Listen, it's not even just Paul Pogba. There's going to be a number of top quality players that are going to be out the door. Joe says it. Do these owners not feel any remorse at all to the fans on what they're about to do? They're taking away so many people's livelihoods just because of money, even though they've not got plenty. And that's fucking true, because even the tickets, like we just mentioned earlier, from being average rated tickets, are now going to be staunchly expensive, because if you want to go and watch Real Madrid versus Chelsea, you're going to have to fly to Real Madrid to get. Not only have you got a purchase ticket, but fly to Real Madrid, find somewhere to stay, and spend the weekend there. Who's going to want
Jim,
to do that? Where's the rivalry? Where's the
did you hear
rivalry?
about they said that each team would get an annual 400 million for just like for the you know how they were complaining about how UEFA doesn't give enough money, or they don't divide out the pie right, and they said that in this league they'd be receiving 400 million, right? So for me, I'm so confused because Chelsea, I don't know about any other clubs because I don't really care about them, to be honest, but
Yeah.
for us making it through to a semi throughout our campaign in UEFA, we've received 61 million pounds in prize money. So I'm so confused. Like, if we're already receiving almost 1/4 of what we're being offered to join this league, and we already have a supply of money that's endless, and we already have a good squad and
Doesn't
players
make
that have
sense,
high
does
market
it?
value, why are
Connor,
we?
Connor, it doesn't make sense, because why would Roman Abramovich agree to it? It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. If it's like you said, if it's not a money thing, then why? What is the benefit of it? Does he think?
I personally think that Chelsea and Man City were like, if these guys are all going and they're getting 400 million and 3.5 billion, I don't want to be left out as well. Because if you think about it, when you take all that money out of the Premier League, I hate to say it, the Premier League, unless every
Gone.
fan, which
Of
I
course,
think will happen, stops watching the Super League and
of
then
course.
only watches the Premier League, it's gonna suck the
There's,
money out. It's gonna
there's
suck
no
the
way.
investors out.
It's
Go on,
more
man.
kind of it's more kind of the promise of, oh hey, look, all the
Mhm.
big teams are coming with us. If you
Yeah.
don't come, then you're gonna become irrelevant. Hey, it's free money. Like you said, at the end of the day, these guys, they don't really need to, but it's just like, hey, well, if everybody else is going, I don't want to get left behind. So it's almost kind of like, hey, so when they put out that statement talking about being coerced or whatever, maybe they were referring to this thinking, hey, we just didn't really want to be left behind, but we acknowledge that we don't really need to be breaking away to do this in the first place.
No, they don't.
I suppose what's disgraceful to me is how easily Chelsea can just fold when, like you said, they should
Yes.
be like taking a stand. Manchester City, Chelsea have the finances, even individually, let alone together, and influence to be able to like stand together with PSG, who also have the finances, and the other German teams who have also decided to stay away.
Well,
They
yeah,
actually we don't really mess.
yeah.
And
Not
This
what is
this
what is
this is
3.5 billion for infrastructure? Are we getting a new Stamford Bridge? Like, are we just gonna knock down Stamford Bridge
I
now?
don't,
And
I don't, we don't know the details, the ins and outs of this
yeah, like
3.5 billion bollocks, but it must be what's luring them into wanting to do this and jumping on the bandwagon. Do you know what I mean? But
essentially what
go,
needs to change is fan influence. Like we need to have a say. We need to be able to have
but
more
we
of a
haven't
say.
got a say, and that's the fucking.
I mean,
This is why everyone on social medias, everyone that supports, a team that's involved in this, is frustrated, because, like Sophia just said when she was just on earlier, the German leagues, the German clubs allow 50% of their clubs to be run by their fans. Why is there no German teams, Bayern Munich, Dortmund, and this people involved in this Super League? Because they're involved, because they're the heart of the club. Yeah, this is the problem that we've got at the moment. Spain, Real Madrid, Barcelona in there, England, all of the top six, PSG. And this is the bad thing about it, because it can't just be about the money. PSG have got money, right? Even their fucking owner, who's got as much money or if more than Roman Abramovich and Man City, said no, because it's not good for the game and for the fans, and pulled away from the idea. So the fact that even PSG can pull away from it, and yet our weak board, I'm not even just going to say Roman Abramovich, because it's all of them, the board himself have agreed to this. It's disgusting,
I
absolutely
mean,
disgusting.
I'm sorry, but for me personally, I'm gonna say this to you right now. I participated in some protests when I was a kid as well, right? So obviously there was one where they were gonna knocked down one of the parks in my area. We did it. A couple of boats obviously sailed past, and it was all good. It looked like it was on our side, and then they actually took down the whole thing. They said they were going to take down half of it, took down the whole thing. So trust me, protesting, it might make them aware, but these men are heartless, bro. They don't really care about the fans.
Yeah.
But trust me. You know what? There'll be that one sad dickhead out there who will make good content off of this and say that it's all good that this stuff is happening now, because all I was hearing before of this is about the money and about these players, and look at their stats, and now they don't know. Listen, to be honest with you, I don't even care about the players anymore. And to be honest with you, right now, right now I don't care about the players. What I care about is where they stand. Because Bruno Fernandes came out today saying he doesn't want none of this at all. More than one of now everyone's piling up. Apparently, Suarez was out there.
What do you think the
They
surfer
were
mean?
well saying about he wanted to
I
leave.
don't know.
And I don't know. I was looking at the comment.
Send him a link.
But
Send
me
him a link.
personally,
I'm looking for. I'm
Oh,
actually
oh.
looking for someone that actually agrees with this, and to explain it as to a reason why they think it's a good thing. Winter Surfer, if you are a pro, let me know, and I'll send you the link because I want you to come in and explain it, because I think it's a ton of bullshit. But let's
can I explain this from like a third point of view though, like an American side? Like I was on a podcast a couple months ago explaining like what America has to do to compete like in soccer. Like how can we create a league that is in competition with European leagues, and like how can we not send all of our national players over to Europe to get better? And I don't think England understands like what you guys have is literally looked at by the rest of the world and is like thought to be the pinnacle of football, of the highest level of football. You guys have leagues all the way down to the National League. You guys have the FA Cup. You guys have history. Like this is not something that was made. Like if you take the money, the players, the infrastructure, whatever out, the amount of history and the amount of everything that goes into it, whether it's players in the past, clubs that have the longest history, the way football was even created, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Champions League, like this is all stuff that people grew up dreaming and aspiring to be. This is all stuff that players that are playing now wanted to be. People have spent their livelihoods perfecting and striving towards these things. And now, in a matter of days, in a matter of a decision of 12 owners, all of that goes out of the window. The prestigiousness behind the Champions League and the FA Cup, like Americans, we don't have anything like that right now. We don't get to enjoy that. And I get to come over here as a fan and as kind of like in the passenger seat. I get to enjoy that through English football. And that right now is being thrown out of the window for dollar signs and for high TV, ratings and a viewing list. I don't understand. Like America, we have the American Open Cup, and that's it. Like, and then we have an MLS tournament, which some people don't even like. They want to model it after Europe, and all of this goes out of the window. So we can see mid-table Tottenham and Arsenal play Real Madrid, who Liverpool couldn't even beat every week. Like, and then it takes the, what I'm saying, like people look forward to these high quality, high class fixture games because of the fact that they're played only once or twice a season, and maybe not even that if your team doesn't perform. So it's like, the fact that they're played.
No, I hear that, and it makes a lot of sense, kind of in what you're saying. It's good to actually hear from your point of view, actually, from where you are as well, especially with how the businesses are run out there and that. So it's definitely good to hear. But Winter Surfer is with us now. Obviously, Winter Surfer, you was in the comments earlier, and you said this is frustrating you. Obviously, I've actually been trying to find someone that's actually excited about this, because I like trying to understand the other side of things. I'm not saying that's your case, because you might not be happy with it. It's just that obviously with your comment, it was like you were frustrated that everyone's moaning about this Super League. So can you tell us what your thoughts are with this, please, mate?
I think everyone's losing a bit of track here. It's this is a shot at UEFA and the Champions League, nothing more than that. This isn't a shot at the Premier League whatsoever. They want to compete and stay in the Premier League. This is a shot at UEFA and the Champions League and how they've been running. I mean, look at UEFA today. They had the biggest crisis on their hands 12 hours ago, and then they announced a new UEFA Champions League format. They don't listen, okay? And for me, this is about financial chicken in the end. This is about who's gonna blink first, Okay, I think a European Super League is always inevitable. Was always going to be inevitable. I don't think people are shocked at the announcement. I think they're shocked at the timing of the
Yeah, I am.
announcement.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
the whole point of it.
Yeah,
I think if
yeah,
I think if they'd said, if they waited after the season, even before the Euros, yeah, all the season's done, everyone's won whatever, and then they announced it, that's when people might have a different perspective on it. Me myself, I mean, listen, for me, it's just another evolution of the sport. For me,
Winter Surfer, does it not piss you off, the fact? And I completely agree with you. I think the timing of it is what's probably pissed off people even more. It stinks.
Yeah.
But the fact that UEFA have just announced not long ago, which I read on here, that the fact that they're looking to kick any teams that are involved in the Champions League and Europa League still, from it. So Chelsea semi-final, all the hard work that the players put into that, Tuchel put into that, Lampard put into that. Yeah, I did say Frank Lampard because he did get to several group stages. Do you not feel like does that not just piss you off? Like,
don't get me wrong. That totally pisses me off. And I think what pisses me off is how quickly UEFA are to respond to some of these things when they don't respond to some other things.
Yes,
very quickly, right?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like they're so up on there. And what frustrates me more is other organisations going, "Oh, we stand with FIFA, we stand UEFA." That makes me sick as well. But I think, do you not think?
That's probably because they're playing with their kitty fund. That's why. That's why they've reacted so quick.
Exactly what it is, Jim. They can't make money off this. But do you not think the clubs before they even announced it knew that UEFA would come out and say, "Oh, we're going to try and ban you from the Champions League"? They've probably got lawsuits ready to go. As soon as they announce, they're gone. And this is, you know what this is going to do? It's probably going to extend the season by another few weeks or something like that. So while I understand everyone's frustration, I think it's just, you know what it is, Jem? Like I said at the start, I think it's the timing of the announcement.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's what it is. I don't think it's the actual Super League as much as it is the announcement of the Super League.
Why does the Super League have to be the thing, though? Why does it have to be?
That's the thing. That's the thing. This is obviously, Connor, you know, this is obviously an American-made Super League because it's got no relegation. American sports don't do relegation. They don't do relegation at all.
It's terrible. I'm telling you, you don't want to. I'm telling you right now. This is what I think. Right. I read an article yesterday where they said that fans in all different countries and leagues look forward to games from childhood of being played of like UEFA, semifinal of Liverpool versus Real Madrid, right? And people think that they're going to get that same amount of hype and love and that same amount of, attendance when if it's played every week, if you go for quantity over quality, it's not going to be the same. And for me, I was explaining to Jim, in the NBA, the teams are set. This is the reason why the NBA sucks and people are upset. Teams are set. There is a franchise cannot just go out of existence or go out of a different league.
Yeah, they're protected on it. They're protected.
Yeah, the only sport in America that has multiple divisions is the MLB, and those divisions were made because of the teams having secondary teams or academy teams, and then they just let them all play. And there is nothing like English football in America, and that needs to be sacred. That needs to be held on to and cherished.
How many times, Jim, since we got the potential getting Real Madrid in the Champions League, how many times have we discussed going, "Oh my God, we could face Real Madrid for the first time in the European Cup"?
Yeah, but that's nice.
And no. But what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying.
No, I agree with you.
And then we go to a possibility of facing them. Like in the Scottish League, Rangers and Celtic face each other like 82 times in the season. It's like, I mean, you know what else is going to happen? You know what else is going to happen? Whoever picks up the rights to these games, and I predict this, and I've said this, Lamb's already heard me say this, you're going to pay a subscription to join whatever that company is, an extra thing. Then you're going to get two options. You're going to get a whole season ticket, or you're going to get the option to follow your own team. And that's going to get more money out of us. People will pay it as well. people will pay it.
Of course they will,
they'll
but
pay
it's not
it,
the.
yeah.
What gets me more, Winter Surfer, is not just that. It's not even that. It's the fans. It's affecting the fans more than anything. Because how the fuck are you going to be able to travel to a Real Madrid every
They
game
don't
away?
care
every
about
time?
the English fans. They don't care about the English fans. They
But
care about
but
they care
it's
about
vice
they
versa.
care
It's
about
not
the
even
other
just
fans.
English fans. It's Spanish fans. It's Italian fans. Do you know what I
They
mean?
don't-
Whatever.
They
It's
just
whoever's
don't.
team's
They just
involved
don't
in this
care.
league.
They just
And because
mate,
the thing that gets me
3.5
the most
billion.
about the league,
3.5
Winter Surfer, is
billion.
there's no structure to it. Like you said, you can't get relegated, but you can win it. So you're going to put I don't know, 15 teams in this league, all fighting out for one motive, to win it. So
Get
what happens
this.
when you finish
You
second,
can finish
third, or
bottom
fourth?
and get
Nothing.
400 million. You can
Yeah,
finish bottom
exactly.
of the
So,
group and get 400
so
million.
just being in it
Yeah.
gives you
Yeah.
money. So
Yeah.
there's no meaning to it. There's no,
Yeah.
you know, like
Listen.
when you with the Premier League, you've got
No
relegation.
incentive. There's no
Yeah.
incentive.
Hey,
There's no
I gotta,
incentive. Exactly. It's dead.
Jem, I want to explain a situation to you that I saw brought up the other day. So
Yeah.
in the NBA, in Atlanta, Georgia, in the U.S., they have a team called the Atlanta Hawks or the Atlanta Falcons, and those are their sports teams, right? And so the Hawks are the basketball team, right? In 2014, they had the second best record in the league, right?
Mm.
They go to our playoff system, okay, and they lose out to LeBron James's team, Cleveland, okay. In the preseason, everybody's excited. Everybody's like, we had the best record. We lost to LeBron, but we're going to come back next season. Do you know what they chose to do as a club? And
Yeah.
in England, this would get
Yeah.
you destroyed. You couldn't
Get you
do this as a
fired.
club. They sold our entire starting five to different teams, whether it was for a draft pick, whether it was for money. They sold our 2, 7, and 8 number, like, so our bench man, like our 6th man, our 7th man, they sold them for draft picks. And then they released a statement in the preseason to the fans that said, we're rebuilding as a franchise. We're going to pick up some draft picks in a couple years. We're going to pick up some young players, and we're going to start over. Could you imagine if Chelsea sold most of its, potential players and for money? That's a thing that could be developed in this Super League.
But Connor, look at NFL teams, right? NFL teams. If you lose your first 6 games, what usually happens? That team will tank to get the best player out of the draft the next year. That's because it's no competition.
And there's no repercussion.
That's a better season, but that's a better season for them.
Yeah.
They finish with a low winning percentage, so they can get the first draft pick, like a new quarterback or something. It's just there's nothing. There's nothing. I mean, how many? Do you reckon I'm going to celebrate if we win this Super League? I'm going to put it on our club's history.
Well, what does it mean winning it? Oh, you're the best team in the Super League. I don't get it. Like, what is what's
funny?
You go to the Universal Cup or something. Do you know?
Do you know what I mean? You don't even go anywhere with it. You get a new little stupid cup, and that's it. And then you got to protect it again.
Or we can call ourselves the world champions. That's what we can do. We call ourselves the world champions.
This moment right here happened in American football or American soccer, and this same moment happened, and there was a decision by the MLS and by the National American Soccer League or whatever they call it. They were deciding if they were going to join or if they were going to make a league or how they would structure the leagues. And the U.S. men's national team coach at the time, Jurgen Klinsmann, said we should follow the European model. We should build our leagues from the ground up, and then we'll have a top competition. And then this American idea was pitched in where we build from the top down. And unfortunately, the MLS won out. And the same thing that you guys are complaining about is the same thing that happens in the MLS. Like, where they're trying to grow the league to grow support, which is understandable. But now, people that are investing hundreds of millions of dollars because we're building from the top down, you can't relegate that team. That would just fraught their whole multi-billion-dollar investment. Like Austin, Texas just, created an MLS team. And a famous actor, what's his name? Some famous American actor invested like $100 million. These board members came in and invested millions of dollars. And because they built from the top down, if you relegate Austin FC in their inaugural season, then their club, all that money goes to waste. So they can't make it like the English Premier League. So you guys have something that's really rare. And
guys, I agree completely, 100%. I want to just quickly fly through these bullet cons. We're still on the cons. We got about 2 in, and then we started talking. But a football will be divided. A breakaway league causes such a divide with the domestic leagues that a divide in this sport occurs. UEFA has already threatened of robbing the players of international UEFA tournaments if they are involved in the Super League. This will create a huge divide. But not only will it create a divide in tournaments, but there's also talks about the World Cups. There's also talk about the Euros. Like they're really thinking about, like, you know,
Apparently
not allowing
Wayne
anyone
Rooney
involved.
just responded to the Super League. I'm about to listen to it.
They
To
got
be honest
some
with
nerve.
you-
They got some nerve UEFA in there. They got some
To
nerve.
be honest with you, right? Whether it's Wayne Rooney, Gary Neville, or
Listen,
that piece of shit Jamie Carragher, any of them respond, yeah. Even Jesus could respond, and none of this shit will change. Trust me.
it needs Messi and
for me-
Ronaldo. It needs Messi and
Exact-
Ronaldo. That's what it needs.
exactly. And for me
Yeah.
personally, if you are part of this first set division, the Bundesliga, Syria, and obviously the Premier League. Premier League for me is definitely the greatest
It's most
sport.
popular, yeah.
Most
Yeah,
popular,
exactly. It's exactly out the mainstream ones. But man, what can we do, man? Like, no one
You
can
see,
save us.
you see that, Jen,
Yeah.
right? UEFA makes me laugh, yeah. Before COVID hit, the next Euros was going to be all over Europe, yeah, over Europe. It wasn't going to be a set country. They were happy for us the countries to fly themselves all over the place. FIFA sold the rights to the World Cup in Qatar, one of the most hottest countries in the world. And look at the reports we get over from Qatar about stadiums being built, people dying building them. They've got some bloody nerve. They've got UEFA and FIFA to be like up like the moral standing, like
standard. Yeah, this is like them trying to be moral about a situation because they know the fans are upset. But
they've got some bloody nerve. They've got some nerve. They have. You know.
Wayne Rooney said, they asked Wayne Rooney in his press conference, they said, have you heard about the top 6 teams leaving to, and he says that from week in and week out, we don't even know who the top 6 teams are. He's like, there's clubs right now in the top 6 that aren't in the Super League top 6.
Yeah, but it's true. He's talking sense. He's talking facts. What is the selection procedure? A big question raised by the former Manchester United defender in his BT program was that who decided that these are the biggest clubs in Europe? It's right. Who actually sits there and goes, right, they need to go in and they need to go? Because he says right here, Arsenal and Spurs did not even qualify for the Champions League and they're fucking in there. Manchester United couldn't go past the group stages. So who's to say that these are even still the so-called big 6 in what Connor just said there? It's right there. It don't make sense. It really don't make sense how they're even structuring the clubs that are involved. Super League for me would mean all of the best teams in the world with history that are still performing to a level, a higher level, winning things to be involved. The way I see it, the people that are involved are the teams that have got the most money or have money to be able to get involved.
But they're the teams that are identified by BT and Sky Sports and Amazon as to why they bid so much for the Premier League rights. Okay, that's why they're the big 6 in the Premier League. No matter where they finish at this moment in time, they're recognised as the big 6 by the TV companies as well. Which is why this threat of the Premier League not letting us back in or suspending us or whatever will be affected by what Sky Sports, BT and Amazon do, because there's no way those 3 companies will bid as much as they have done for the past few years if those 6 clubs aren't in there, and all the rest of the teams will be losing money. So it's gonna, and that's why they said they don't want to. That's why they said they want to be in the domestic competitions. But
can I say something quickly?
It's just mad.
Can I just say something quickly, right?
Yeah.
First of all, right, this might be controversial. Right? But whether or not they're in this team, in this shit of a league, I listen. This might be controversial, and for some people it might be understandable. But I will never, ever, ever leave my allegiance to my club. I will never, ever, ever leave my team, no matter what they go through. Whether they're doing something that's good for them but bad for the fans, or something that's bad for them but good for the fans, like obviously the Europa League, that's bad for both of us. Like, we're going through that together.
Yeah, that's a shit competition.
But for me personally, I will never, ever, ever leave my club's side, whether or not they make a bad decision. And they've made many bad decisions. They've made, listen, trust me, they've made worse decisions than this.
Yes,
I've heard fans say that they're not gonna support their clubs anymore.
That's
rubbish. That's absolute rubbish.
They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that.
That's rubbish.
And that's an absolute disgrace. And you know what? then guess what? You know that they listen. If they actually whoever they fucking believe in, anyone who's up there, yeah. Listen, I wish they could just airbrush anything that they've celebrated in the past. Because if they're gonna just ditch their team like that, then I can't. I'm sorry, I can't have that. I can't.
It is.
I can't.
No inspiration is the second from last bullet point. Leicester beating the unaffamable 5,000 to 1 odds to win the league. FC Porto winning the Champions League, which they did. A young Ajax team steamrolling past the big clubs to reach the Champions League semis. Yeah, sorry, steamroll. Yeah, these are the inspiring stories we will miss out on, and that's true. There's no inspiration involved in this, is there? There's no real like underdog. You know, even if Arsenal finished 4th in this Super League, it wouldn't be like, oh, would it? Do you know what I mean? For example,
This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Like, what you can't really be too mad at these people who are saying like, oh, they refuse to kind of support their team, because what's the incentive anymore?
What's their support?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Connor. Nailed it.
Do I want to go see Arsenal get tossed and turned by Real Madrid week in and week out? Do a preview where it's like, yeah, so Benzema's put in 16 goals in 3 games, and Harry Kane's injured.
Yeah.
Like what? Like when we do the previews on here at GNA TV for like semi, like imagine a preview GNA TV for a semi for Champions League. Like that has weight to it. When people see that in the thread, that has meaning to it. You know what I'm saying? If that comes up in the YouTube algorithm, that's going to ask somebody to click on it.
Just got the new thumbnail designs already, mate. I literally
I'm telling you.
I'll tell you right now, I set up all of the new design thumbnails. Obviously, a lot of people have noticed that they've changed recently.
Yeah.
I changed them all. I prepped every single one. The words have to be in place. I switched the player around and I switched the background color. Bro, it's pretty much all gone to waste if this shit happens. Because no one.
And
if you're one of the first, if you're one of the 12 founding members, right? If you finish if you don't make it to their playoffs, their quarterfinals, whatever, you still earn more than if you're one of the 5 or one of the other teams that aren't one of the 12 founding members. If you're in that competition, you earn so much more than them. It's ridiculous. Plus, if you go into how it's not going to be the same if you win this and you score a last minute winner. It's not going to be the same as, say, Aguero winning it for Man City.
Yeah,
it's not going to be the same as Drogba heading in the equaliser, or Torres doing that in the Newcastle. Wayne Rooney's overhead kick. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be like FIFA. It's going to be like FIFA.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said earlier.
Wait, where's FIFA going to go?
With the surfer. You know when you go on to
FIFA on the front cover.
You know when you go into FIFA and you create a tournament on FIFA and you throw all the best teams in it. That's what's happened right now. That is it. But don't get me wrong, it will be buzzy and good at the first time it happens. Everyone will be like, oh, we're really interested to watch it. But then, like I said, it will just lose its mojo, like everything, because there's just no real meaning to it. There's no meaning behind the whole process, and that's the next big thing that was said here. No promotion or relegation is involved in the ESL. This is what they call the pyramid system. This means that even if a club has a terrible season, it will come back to play again next season, as nothing has happened. The feisty last game week matches, the nerves of the relegation battle, the excitement of promotion. None of this will even take fucking place. What is the point of this league?
You know what they might as well do? You know what this is? You know what we've reverted to? So early 2000s, obviously I was born then, so I don't really know much, but at least I've seen my team lift the Premier League, which I'm actually grateful for. Look, it's just put into 3 things, right? So, for example, you have a solidified beginning, then you have a middle where money starts getting more involved, and then you kind of have this overloaded bullshit. So if you break it down, it's kind of like the Star Wars trilogies, the prequels, the OTs, and then you have the fucking sequels that were way over the top. And for me personally, you asking me if I'm going to watch this shit, hell fucking no, I'm not watching this shit. I'll support my team. I'll listen to the radio maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not visually watching.
When you be excited, when you be excited when Beyonce hands the trophy over to Maguire to lift up if you win it.
No fucking comment. No fucking comment.
We're gonna have a halftime show now. You guys are gonna have a halftime show.
Oh no,
it's
Connor,
it's gonna be the weekend.
You know what's going to happen? You know in NFL when a city bids to host the final.
Yeah.
That's going to happen with this, I think, as well.
You know what's funny? I actually like I hate to say it, like during the first few seasons of the MLS over in America, when my team won it, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the next year they had a bad season, and it's just like, what's the point of watching anymore? Like nobody gets like even when you win it, it's like, and then the crazy part is like attendance. So you're gonna see the same thing in England.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect like, and I wish they could do a study on it and make a graph, right? Because it happened and it was brought to their attention when it happened. So Atlanta United brought in they farmed out the South American leagues, brought in a bunch of good talent, and they even took Miguel Almiron over to Fulham, I think, or they grabbed him up. They
did.
after they won the MLS. But what happened is the point is that they played their season. Miguel Almiron, Josef Martinez, they come through, they win, and they had this broke records for attendance. The club had so much money, and then the next season, like I think like they lost like almost half of their first like 20 games, 15 games, and then their attendance dropped. And then the clubs couldn't afford to continue paying these salaries or to pay for the Mercedes-Benz, stadium or whatever. So it's like when this happens in the Super League, like where's this money going to come from when the attendance drops, when the ticket sales go down, when the viewings drop? Where's this 3.5 billion going to continue to come from?
Look at Arsenal at the start of the season, though. 15th. If that was in the Super League, no one would give a shit.
Chelsea though, we'll get Pulisic in the playoffs though. Think about that.
Let me say this over quickly. For me personally, look at the start of the season when Arsenal were near to relegation. If that was in the Super League, no one would give a shit. They would just say same old Arsenal. They were actually in a relegation battle, and we actually fearful or joking about them going down. If that was in the Super League, no one would give a shit because we know they wouldn't go down. So like so many events in football in history, games, statistics, it won't be the same in the Super League. Trust me.
I agree. I agree.
Hey, Jim, I got a dip, brother.
Go on, Connor.
The last thing I will say though is there is a part of me that agrees with Winter Surfer. I think this is like, and I wasn't gonna bring this up because this is like a little too like we don't know everything, we don't know the ins and the outs, but they were scheduled to vote on this, on this UEFA formation reformat, and this could just be like a kind of like, hey, if you don't do the way we want, this could be a game of like soccer financial chicken, and that's what I really hope it is. I hope that the way that I hope this plays out is that, they allow the teams to come back. I hope they do get penalized financially, hopefully not like a trade ban or anything like that. I hope the Super League is just like, a chicken type thing, because the last thing I want to see is Chelsea relegated and smacking Millwall 26-0 for a whole season. So that's just me. But I got to run, man. Thanks for having me on.
Connor, before you go, the biggest thing, we can actually play the semi-finals of the Champions League because this is the season that we could potentially still win it, man.
This is the year we're winning the Champions League, and if we don't win it, I may just break that new smart TV behind me.
See you later, Connor, bro. Take care of yourself.
Take it easy, man.
Thanks for coming on, man. See you later. I just want to read the last bit of this. Part of this street. I want to talk about this. What I'm looking at right now. I'm falling asleep right now. Rumors had it as that PSG, Bayern Munich, and Borussia Dortmund were asked to be a part of the league as well, and they denied. Is what they said there. With what is usually said about the PSG owners, this denial by them does call for a huge respect on their name to try and keep the game alive, and that's true in many ways. But personally, as a football fan, I despise the idea of such a league, even from a very neutral point of view. I can really see how this is for anything other than the money involved. Just the announcement of the league has sent the football world into haywire, which it has. UEFA has cancelled all the Champions League and Europa League fixtures temporarily, and it's tough to see where we go from here. And
I wouldn't praise PSG or Bayern, because if you read an earlier statement this morning, something about the German clubs that they're not going to be doing anything for weeks. They're not said. Yeah. So don't be surprised. PSG as well. Don't be surprised. PSG, Bayern Munich, Dortmund.
But Winter Surfer,
2 weeks time.
I don't know if you saw earlier, but apparently a lot of the German teams, the German clubs, are run by 50% are run by fans. So a lot of the reason why there's not a lot of involvement at the moment from German teams in the Super League is because obviously the fans have a say. That's what I've been told anyway.
That's right, but
they're very money driven.
How do we know? They don't need like a 2% swing from the fans to go into the actual tournament itself. and you can't tell me that that 100% of the fans don't want to do this. There's no way. There's going to be a majority of the fans, not majority. There's going to be some percentage of the fans that do want to do this.
Do you know what annoys me the most about it all? And we will finish off very soon. I think the way what Winter Surfer said with me, it wasn't the shock that they were doing it. It was mainly the timing of how they've done it, and the fact that it's now affecting everything that we've worked hard at the end. The fact that like we're at the end of a season, like what is the point of announcing something like that now when you've got people that are still in semi-finals and finals, fighting for places in Champions League, fighting for titles in their leagues domestically? Why would you decide to make that announcement at this second when all of this is going on to now cause an uproar, which means that Chelsea and any other teams that are involved, like Man United in the Europa League, who probably would have won it for the first time in a while, would now can't win it. So it's a sham.
Exactly, man. Saturday night, we were euphoric. You know what I mean? Looking forward to the end of the season, business end. All of us looking forward to the end of the season. We got business end games. You know what I mean? Now it's like we got a game tomorrow, and I'm like, I'll watch it, but I'm not. What does it really mean in the end if we're not in the league, Premier League next season? And we're not in the Champions League next season.
My problem with it mainly is that the fact that it's going to limit us. It's going to limit us on any of the other competitions. Like the fact that we were just literally going to throw all our eggs in this one basket. Connor's come back quickly. I thought he was gone, but he's back.
Bro, I'm literally getting ready to go run some errands, and I read this. I need to send it to you guys, and I'm gonna send it to you when I get off here, saying that the time. And I was thinking about the same thing Winter Surfer said. Why the timing? Why now with so much on the line? And they were saying that at this point in time, if you think about it, the clubs that would be the least financially motivated to join are in the most vulnerable position based on the titles that they're in.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. Chelsea and Man City, ones that would not be financially obligated to join, could have their seasons or their, domestic and international cups at stake ruined because of this if they don't join. So that's mad.
So you're telling me they've been bribed a bit?
Not bribed, but it's like if you don't come with us, we're gonna ruin this for you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Because if you take Man City and Chelsea out of this, is this even taken serious?
Yeah, you're not a big club, are you? So
no. This is why they were forcing us in. Maybe that's why Roman was forced in terms of his hand. But
just wanted to throw that out. Just wanted to throw that out.
That's why Chelsea City came in and said what they did.
PSG, they're not in it. Why? Because they're in a Champions League semifinals.
They'll join. They'll join within weeks.
All right. Anyway, sorry about that. Just saying. I'm gonna send that to you, Winter Surfer.
Yeah, send it, bro. Send it. Definitely, man.
Cheers, man.
No worries.
Man.
There we go, man. What else more is there to say, people? Is there anything else anyone wants to say on this?
Jem, you'll probably be doing five more. You're probably doing 5 more shows like this week. You know that.
Oh, I
don't. You will, Jem. You will.
Yeah,
it's going to be something new.
Winter Surfer, Jem, we could literally spend hours talking about this. We could be here all day, and in some cases some of us have been here all day on different.
Jem, I was on Niall's stream last night till 4 in the morning. We were talking about this.
Wow.
It was a 4-hour stream talking about it.
Because there's literally so much.
Every day there's going to be something new.
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to be lawsuits. There's going to be announcement of lawsuits as well. Friday, what happens Friday? Building up to Friday, are we kicked out? Everyone's going to be talking about that.
So we've got a lot to discuss as the story develops.
Well, that's the annoying thing, and like Winter Surfer said, every blooming day it's going to keep developing, and we're going to have to keep talking about it. It's just going to keep, until we get an actual, I don't want to say even solution, but a clear understanding of this is going to happen. This is what they're going to do. This is the situation. Until we get to that point. At the moment, there's many questions that need to be answered. Our fucking football club that's in the semi-final of a fucking Champions League has now been told that they can't play in this because our fucking board and club have decided to commit to some stupid fucking league right now. When apparently you've got up to 15 days to get involved in it. Why not wait the 15 days? It's going to be at the end of what? All right, end of April, beginning of May. But you might have been able to compromise. You might have understood it a bit better. I feel like we've just rushed into this, and now look, it's just thrown. Like, you haven't. It's like we've rushed into it, but not thought about what UEFA are going to do, what it's going to do to us domestically, what it's going to do to the Premier League. We've just gone, yeah, all right, cool, and we've not really thought about everything that's going on at the moment for this football club, which is huge, historically huge. Because if we do win a Champions League again, it'll be the second time in Chelsea's fucking history that we've ever done this. Do you know what I mean? And it's a big thing for us this year. You know, and they've decided to do it all at the wrong time, and that's where the anger is for me. And it is what it is.
That's what I said to you at the start. I don't think it's any of us are surprised by announcing on the Super League. It's the timing. It's the timing that's really pissed everyone off.
It's as well as the timing, guys. I also think like there's not really been any clear structure thought through as well. Like nobody really knows. Okay, if we're involved in this, what does it mean? Is there going to be like a trophy? Is there going to be like a sort of playoff stage for something else? I don't know. Is there going to be like some teams relegated? Can teams from other domestic leagues, pay for promotion? Like, is there this like? There's no clear understanding of where this is going.
On the
whole, yeah.
I was thinking about the infrastructure thing, and I think it was brought up last night. I was on the stream. It's funny they said the infrastructure thing, didn't they? Chelsea have been put on. I think I saw. I don't know if it's how true it is or not. There was a report last night that somehow Chelsea. They were thinking about 60,000 to begin with. Now they're thinking about an 80,000 seater thing, and with all this money coming in, they hardly have to spend any of their own money to build up their infrastructure. That's what
true.
I mean.
But that's what I'm saying. It's easy, isn't it? When you think of it like that, it's like, okay, cool. You want us to just go in the league for this money?
Free money.
It's money driven.
It's money. Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is.
Like, who's going to turn down free money? Like, Jem, if you've already got a job, you've got a salary coming in, and someone goes, Jem, here's free money. Are you going to say no?
Yeah.
Fuck them. You don't blame them, do you? Let's be serious.
Exactly. They're businessmen.
It is, but what annoys me about it, why I do get annoyed about it, is football has become business, and the passion and the meaning of football is slowly, as we go on from generations to generation, disappearing. It's going to become a money thing very, very soon. Mark my words. It will all just be money. It won't be. There won't be no meaning. There'll be no passion.
It's like American sports.
In it anymore.
It's going to be like American sports.
It's scary.
Winning something to owners in America is a bonus.
I agree.
It's a bonus.
Yeah. Anyway, people, please smash that like button. Please subscribe if you're new here to GNA TV. We're nearly at the 1K. We literally are now. We're in the 9s. We're in the 900s and somethings, but we're there. I haven't looked at the moment, but it's so blimmin' hard, isn't it? I mean, Winter Surfer knows himself. You monetized it. You must be.
No, we're under 30 though, away from.
You're getting there. You're getting there. But so people get over there and make sure you subscribe to KH No Filter as well. Yeah, let's try and get them up to 1K as well. Once you're there, apparently it's really easy. But apparently it's just
guys, it might speed up this week if we're all just constantly content about this. I'm not gonna lie, it might get there this week. It might
just title our videos "Just Come On and Rant." You know what I mean? Just don't have anyone. Just come on and rant for 5 minutes. Next.
Make sure you subscribe first.
Subscribe first.
Connor's just said Real Madrid, Chelsea, and Man City to be removed from the semi-finals Friday.
Watch the lawsuits.
Well, anyway, we'll come back with that.
Yeah.
Probably back tomorrow to talk about that once we've got through tonight and probably.
There's a game tomorrow, isn't there? I forgot.
There is a game tomorrow. Chelsea. There's a lot of. I know some people are actually going down there to protest. Actually, if I wasn't so busy. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't go down there. Actually, I'm not too close. But it's.
When I say there's no one going to be there, I don't want anyone to get hurt. But there's no one of authority there that's going to answer the 8 people that are standing outside.
Yeah.
All right, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think one of them.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. And in that sense, we just got to see what happens. I think we're all overreacting too quickly. I mean, it had hit us. It shocked us like more than anything. But I think everyone's just like, what do we do? What do we do? Oh my god, this. Oh my god, that. Our club.
That's what it is. We are all entitled. We're all entitled to be selfish because we're thinking about our club's season.
Yeah.
That's why we're like up in arms.
People, thank you for tuning in as always. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. I hope you have enjoyed the review. It was a good show today. We had up to 30 of you guys tuned in. We appreciate that as always at GNA TV. And yeah, Lamb's ads. Well, I don't know where he's gone. He's probably fell asleep or whatever. Winter Surfer, thank you for coming on. Sophia, I know she's not here. Connor as well, who was on as well. Our links are in the description below. Get following on the Instagram page because we will be doing a giveaway, a big giveaway when we hit 1K.
It's a new Super League shirt.
Yeah, it's a new Chelsea Super League shirt with the Super League badge on it, and on the back of
Amazon.
And on the back of it, we've engraved "I love Super League" as well, so you can take that. You can take that with you. But people, enjoy your evenings. Take care of yourselves. We hope Leeds smash Liverpool because we need it anyway. We don't want Liverpool catching up with us.
That's right.
And yeah, we move. Peace.
Subscribe.
It's like it's free time when it's free time. In the dance that they have